So recently, Rick Riordan revealed that Disney Plus would be getting a Percy Jackson TV series, and I lost my freaking mind. But being the focused and moral person I am, I immediately thought of how I could use this news to my own advantage. 2 words, fan casting. Because I can't be the only one who, upon hearing this, set to spending every waking moment putting together a, dare I say, flawless cast for this new show. Right? Please tell me I'm not crazy. I mean, is there a point to any of this? Will this video finally be the one to bring me happiness? Anywho, let's get on with it. And better grab your floaties, kids, because we're jumping headfirst into the deep end by starting off this casting with Percy Jackson. There were a lot of people that came to mind for this role for me. And let's not even forget the fact that this guy's going to have to hold up to Logan Lerman, who basically looks like he was pulled directly off the covers of the books. But I think I've found someone who might be able to step into the flying shoes of our titular hero, Charlie Rowe. This guy was neck and neck with Tom Holland for the role of Spider-Man and just barely lost out. He appeared in Rocket Man last year, and honestly, I just think he nails that look of a sort of rebellious yet heroic lead that Percy Jackson requires. Our next character is arguably just as important to nail as Percy himself, Annabeth Chase. And I'm thinking realistically here, so I'm going to stay inside the Disney family. But don't get me wrong, I still think this is a solid choice. Sabrina Carpenter. She has shown that she can play the confidence that Annabeth would require, and plus, and this is apparently vitally important, she has blonde hair. Rounding out the trio, we have Grover Underwood. Grover acts as sort of Percy's guide through the mythological world, and I think the film did a good job highlighting his more humorous traits, but he's also got a lot of vulnerability to him as well. And after seeing Jumanji, I think Alex Wolff would handle that perfectly. We're going to finish off our casting of the demigods with Luke Castellan. Luke serves as sort of a cool older brother to Percy, and not to get into spoilers, but he also plays a very large part in the later books. So we need an actor with a lot of range. So I went with Decree Montgomery. Let's hope that's how you say it. He's no stranger to the world of streaming, and the age difference between him and Charlie Rowe works perfectly for the dynamic Luke and Percy have. Alright, so now we move on to the big boys. And as you are going to see, this is where most of our big spending comes in, because these are the names that are going to put butts in seats. Well, I guess since it's a streaming show, it's more like it's going to put butts on couches, which is still a kind of seat, so I'm going to count it. It's only right that we start this section off with Percy's old man himself, Poseidon. In the book series, he's a loving father who is forced to keep a distance from his son, even if he desires to be closer. So we're going to need an actor who can be intimidating, but also tender in the right moments. Who better than Hugh Jackman? And if you needed any more convincing, all you would need to do is look at any picture of him on the beach. This is a man in his element. It's as if he has always been preparing for this role. The sea itself bends to his sheer will. This next one's a biggie. Zeus, the king of the gods. He shares a lot of scenes with Poseidon, so we're going to need someone who can stand toe-to-toe with the likes of Hugh Jackman. And I think I've found just the man. George Clooney. I mean, just look at that beard. Need I say more? Okay, I guess I can say more. George Clooney is a top-tier actor, and he can bring the, dare I say, thunder.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
Alright, so I'm going to level with you here. I feel very strongly about this next one. Hades, Disney. Some of you may remember a small film by the name of Hercules. This feature film, well, featured perhaps the greatest version of Hades ever put to film. So why mess with perfection? That's right, guys and gals. Bring back James Woods. The man was so powerful in the role that, and don't you fact check this, his hair was literally on fire by the end of most of his recording sessions. That's true craftsmanship, and that's what Hades is going to need for this show. So it's at this point, for my own safety, I would need to inform you that my fiance was not a fan. of this idea. That's putting it lightly. And she thinks that instead, the great Jeff Goldblum would perform better for the role of Hades. So, how about do me a favor here, and I'm not saying to help me prove myself right, but just put in the comments who you think would make a better Hades for the Percy Jackson show, James Woods or Jeff Goldblum. And thanks in advance for picking James Woods. Now, Ares is the biggest no-brainer of all, so I'm just gonna get right to it. Joe Manganiello. The dude looks like a warrior, and to top it off, he's a massive nerd. So he deserves a shot at another fantasy franchise, because if we never get to see him as Deathstroke again, I think a God of War is the next best thing. Next, we have to cast Annabeth's mother, Athena. To portray this character, you need an actress who gives off an aura of cunning and wisdom, and I don't think you can do much better than Rebecca Ferguson. She was the breakout star of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and if Disney decides to make this a musical for some reason, she can summon up her greatest showman talents. Now, the Percy Jackson films did a pretty killer job casting Hermes as the great Nathan Fillion. So the question is, who can possibly follow up that guy? Easy. Nathan Fillion. That's right, you are going to do better than Nathan freaking Fillion. Next! Dionysus was the easiest character for me to cast. He's the god of wine turned disgruntled camp counselor. And as far as I'm concerned, there's only one man who can take on a role that complex. Mr. Jack Black, Wonder Boy himself. So there you have it. That's my list. If you have your own ideas for who could play what character in the Percy Jackson television series, why don't you leave them in a comment down below? Oh, and Disney, if you're watching, I give you full permission to just take this as your own. All I ask for is a writing credit, $37,000, and one of your spare Baby Yodas.